CBS News app on YouTube or through our website, cbsdetroit.com. What we've been watching for are a lot of these different cells rolling their way on through. This is the main line, moving into Wayne County, into Oakland County up here, and all the way down into Monroe counties. Individual cells with a ton of lightning, the worst of which is actually moving right into Livonia right here. And that's kind of the main spot that we've been looking at. If we can go in for a little bit of that closer look, actually, right within that spot, that's that primary cell. Moving just to the north there, that's Michigan Avenue. You've got 94 here. This is Telegraph, and there's Inkster right there. So Dearborn as we move our way this way, but this cell right on top of Livonia and 96, that is probably the one with the strongest amount of wind. I mean, you can see the amount of lightning within there. That's one of the big issues, too. Very strong wind gusts out ahead of this that are really kind of rolling their way on in. But with the rain continuing all the way through, I mean, you can see that draw out there where it's highlighting, too. That's a good point. It's rolling right toward Greenfield Village and the Henry Ford, which has been preparing for their Salute to America tonight. So you need to be careful if you're in that area. They've got a lot of stuff going on this evening. If you are in that area, you need to make sure you are sheltered, you are indoors, you are away from windows with very strong winds well above the baseline. 70-mile-an-hour winds here with this considerable tag severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 7:15. That's one of the main spots that we've been looking at. If we can, I know, joining me, by the way, here tonight is meteorologist Vita Spree, who's behind the camera, actually. Yeah. If you can pop up the velocity, I wonder if we can see some of the winds there.
Real quick.
That's our favorite thing. You and I, you'd love to do that.
Well,
but
yeah.
The main thing that we're looking at there, look at those pinks. The strong wind gusts. Look at how strong some of those winds are actually moving right near Telegraph. And there's Garden City Ford Road right here. And that is really kind of the main one. So there's Ford Road, Telegraph. Here's Michigan Avenue. You're going right down here, that main stretch, that kind of downtown West Dearborn that they've been really kind of building up. Greenfield Village right here. The brand new Ford World headquarters is right over here. Strongest wind gusts right within this very magenta color rolling its way on through and spreading actually out a little bit as it continues into East Dearborn right here. So all the way out. And even, look at that, you've got a lot more wind gusts moving right toward Detroit. If you are downtown right now.
You know, the concern on our Campus Marshes cam. In fact, if we could bring up Campus Marshes real quick, either in the control room or you might be able to hop on it. The thing about Campus Marshes, there are people sitting outside waiting for, I think they probably put on that movie. They have seats sitting out there.
Right here.
There's people sitting, and it looks like maybe some of them might be gathering their stuff because a few pre-raindrops are starting to move in, but I hope those folks are starting to move in because there's a lot of people downtown. There you go.
That is really dark right now.
You see all those people right there?
Look at the winds already starting to affect a lot of the trees. If you are downtown right now, if you are this group, look at the wind. You can see the wind affecting the dust right there. And it's starting to blow everything around. Go inside. Look at the dust.
Yeah, and
look at the dust kicking up.
There it is. There it is. Look at that.
Get
That's a live
inside.
Shot. And watch those chairs start blowing around. But this is, and you're going to elevate the wind gusts between the buildings.
Yes, it creates that wind tunnel effect. If you are downtown right now in this area in Campus Marshes, you need to get inside right this second. We've been seeing the dust getting kicked up on the ground right this moment. There goes another burst right here, live from our Campus Marshes camera. Get indoors. You do not want to be outside when these much stronger than baseline severe storms roll in.
And Ahmed, also, as you can see, I think those people will start disappearing off the field as you see them moving quickly.
And it's starting to shake a little bit.
It's starting to rain. So as that rain really starts pouring down, we stepped out just a moment ago and got a video of the clouds moving in the gust front, and it was blowing those trees really hard. And Cassandra and I were out there, and we were seeing that heavy wind blowing in. I mean, probably 60+ mile an hour.
Oh, without a doubt. And that's where we've been getting actually some different damage reports, as a matter of fact. That main part of the line really roaring its way on in. The good news is it is moving very fast, but that's also the bad news. There's some of those damage reports from out near Manchester. You've got Chelsea and Dexter. All the way to the west out near Lansing, you've got some more. Each one of these different damage reports, and that's something that's really been the key. It's been straight line winds that have been doing a ton of that.
And look at the line.
All the way to Chicago.
Yeah, you can see the line right there. I'm going to rotate this up a little bit to give you an idea. You can see, as you pointed out, where did those storms really start firing up? Out here, out west?
All the way to the east. I'm going to throw out a word, though, Vitas, and I wonder what your opinion is on this. There's a certain distance, it's like 300 miles or something, for it to be classified this way, but these winds are well above baseline. We're 70 mile an hour or greater in spots, and it's been rolling from in central Illinois all the way into eastern Michigan. This is getting close to that derecho
Ratio. Yeah, that's right.
criteria.
Yeah, 100%. I would qualify it with the heat.
I think
it
it's
up.
absolutely there. So
Yeah,
for those of you that don't know, a
possibly.
derecho is a multiple miles long. Basically, it's a violent windstorm. We're seeing all the damage reports. It's going from central Illinois all the way into southeastern Michigan, and it's causing a lot of those different damage spots. I think we are starting to meet that criteria. It's about 200-300 miles it has
Yeah.
to cross continuously to reach that, and I think
Right.
we're pretty much within that mark.
There's still, even though we are seeing that line through our area, but look west, there's still activity in northwest Illinois.
There is still, yeah.
about
That
that
stuff should
on the
hopefully
back edge?
continue to kind of, hopefully that filters out a little bit for us. If you want to advance to the next scene, I know it's the traffic one, but that should have Campus Martius up again still on
Oh,
it.
okay. Mhm.
Let's see how that
you
looks
go.
now. There it is, still
Yeah.
dark with the rain going on in. That initial gust was what kind of, I think, freaked everybody out, and it was
It's still
very quite
blowing. Look at those
strong.
treetops.
It's still going.
And that dark cloud. In fact, I know there's a little signal on Precip. It says Precip 2 on our tower cam.
Yes.
I'm not sure if the control room can bring that up, but our tower cam is illustrating that. You can see that. I'm not sure if you can grab it. But,
Yeah, it sounds like that one's still having some issues. They're
but
not
that
sure about
one
being
you
able
can
to do
see
that.
the dark clouds coming in, and it looks pretty ominous
It
right now.
definitely is kind of hitting that mark. Let's bring the radar back up and show that leading edge. And if we can, I've already got for Vetus on the bottom right corner there, that squall 2 setting, the bottom right corner of that second box is
Yeah.
already set to the speed of the line of storms. So if you want to trace that out, we don't have to go any specific distance, but I've already got it set to the speed so we can time out this line then.
Which one are you talking about
Oh,
here?
let's go back out into the palette right there and bring the bottom right corner, squall 2.
Oh, no, I don't think I have it there. That's the.
Yep. So let's bring that. Yeah, there. Let's go right on up here. Let me grab this. There
Yeah,
we go.
I don't think I
And
have it
then
there. Oh,
right,
there.
yeah, right
I
down
was
there.
looking
If
at
you
the
want to
wrong
grab
box.
that one, there we go.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, so it's moving at about 45 miles per hour with a lot of the lightning within this main cell and another one downriver. But if we can draw that out with that one
Yeah.
will allow us
So
to.
from up here, you
Yep.
can see a line here. Hold on a second.
There we go. Perfect. Yeah, if we want to draw that out, then we should be able to actually bring it right on over. There we go. Perfect. So that should give us an ETA. LaSalle, Windsor, for our friends over on the other side of the river here within a couple of minutes, honestly. It's moving very quickly. So 640, 644, Madison Heights 638, East Point by 648, Roseville 650, St. Clair Shores by 652. All of them are moving about 45 miles per hour. Again, very intense winds along this line that continue to roll their way to the east. We're going to be keeping a very close eye on this as it moves its way through Oakland County. I know we're not giving a ton of focus here. I understand. You have a good storm rolling in with a lot of strong winds, but the absolute worst cell is right in there, and you can see that. Look at the intensity of the winds right here that are shining right there on our velocity data from Doppler radar. And what kind of jumps out to me, it's not just the leading edge. It's the entirety of the storm. Look at the bright colors here going toward Brownstown again. Metro Airport within there, all the way up toward Dearborn. You've got right downtown we've been showing you, Livonia as well. A lot of strong lightning, some very strong winds, and of course the very heavy rain within there too. If you don't mind, actually, Vetus, something just caught my eye. Let's
what do you
jump
got?
down 275 right here, right down toward where it goes and crosses 24. Little bit of minor rotation within there.
Yeah, where you
Starting to
highlighted
pop-
right there.
Yeah, right in there. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
Little
a little
spot
bit.
trying to pop up over 275. May not necessarily be that real kind of tight rotation,
Yeah.
but we're going to keep an eye on that.
Kind of
I
right in
think.
here.
Yeah, so what we look for, the greens and the reds. Reds is airflow going away from the radar. Greens is airflow going toward the radar. The radar is in White Lake to the north, so this shows toward and away. We're going to keep an
so
eye on
we're
that while the
kinda
reds, yeah,
watching that
there it
little
is right
area
there.
in there.
That very bright red color is obviously the strong straight line winds in one direction, but that's a little spot we're going to have to keep a real close eye on here going forward, I think.
Yeah,
see.
it's kind of interesting because these things have been really firing up quite a bit. And like you said, this rain actually did have a tornado warning tag on it a little further west. We were looking over Livingston County.
Yes.
And then once it got to Oakland County, it was just a thunderstorm warning. But when I say just, there's a lot of damage reports back to the west over towards Ann Arbor. Multiple trees down. There's an area that said that there's a tree down on a house in Washtenaw County with multiple power lines down in the area. South Main Street in Chelsea. So we have reports of damage there. Also emergency management reporting, public safety reports. Multiple trees down blocking roadway, Mast Road north of Joy Road in Dexter. And so these storms have really been pushing through Ann Arbor, back towards the west. When you have more population, generally, you're going to have more damage with more people in those areas.
Looks like we got a lot of trees and power lines down coming in across Plymouth, too. I wasn't sure if you mentioned that or not.
No, not yet.
Yeah, so Plymouth, it looks like we've got a lot of trees, a lot of power lines coming down across Plymouth Township. A lot of reports coming on in from there. Metro Airport reporting a significant wind gust of more than 63 miles per hour. That's an official report from Metro Airport as this damaging line of straight line winds continues to roll its way in. Another one, Oakland County. The county, Oakland County International, a report coming on in 62 miles per hour.
I'm going to bring
so
this up for
much
you.
Stronger than baseline for
Big
us.
different look downtown.
Wow, there goes Campus Martius. Very, very strong winds. Look at the water as it comes out of the fountain. It's kind of being blown to the side a little bit at the front of it. Yeah, so definitely, there it is right there.
Yeah.
So very strong winds even rolling on into downtown Detroit. But again, one of the main things as well that we're watching, a lot of down trees, a lot of down power lines, unfortunately, from near Ann Arbor to Superior Township, all the way, again, Chelsea, all the way to the west. This is one of those damaging winds as it struck. Watch the patio furniture. It gets blown away there right across the yard. This is one of the issues as those much stronger than baseline winds, as that line rolls through. That's what's been such a big concern here this evening. It's because it's all just in one direction. We're not talking about a lot of tornado warnings or anything like that. It's just very intense straight line winds far above that baseline.
Okay, I'm going to have you. I do this in the morning, and it works. You can stand in front. We have a little issue with one of our cameras, but it's such a great shot. This is our camera, and you can just stand in front of preset.
Yep.
I would stand in front of the words that say preset, too. That's how I get away with it.
We'll hold that there. I'll let my broad shoulders kind of block that out. There we go.
There you go.
Can see, look how that very dense line. Look how severely kind of obscured that rain is right there that we're working with. You got the shaking, too, from it. A lot of that damaging wind. Again, the strong rainfall. This is Southfield. So the worst of it is just south of the tower cam here, but you can see actually just off to the northwest there, kind of right over this way is where we're looking toward that Oakland County airport, and that is where those stronger wind gusts have really been trying to hit.
Okay, so I'm going to bring up the radar again for you to track, and as we're taking a look, I'll zoom in, and you can see the active warnings at this time. We still have this severe thunderstorm warning. We're going to continue until 7:15 for Genesee and Oakland County. Radar indicated we've seen some large hail, 3/4 inch to almost an inch size, 60+ mile-an-hour winds, but then we get down towards Wayne County. We still have our severe thunderstorm warning in Wayne County till 7:15. Monroe and Wayne County, radar indicated 3/4 inch to about an inch size hail. Also, we've seen 60+ mile-an-hour winds gusting through there. And then down to the south, our friends to the south. Can't leave you out. We're looking at Monroe. Once again, that severe thunderstorm warning for you. So these things are cranking along because on the back edge of it, it's just decent showers. But this has a lot of lightning and thunder. That's another threat people have to take into account, being outside. A lot of folks are outside.
And I just got a report actually from a storm chaser in the area at 11 Mile and DeQuinder, transformers blowing as the line of wind is moving in. This is direct from a chaser I've trusted here for a while. So 11 Mile and DeQuinder is that main cell.
Detroit,
that's
downtown,
the one. That's
right
the cell moving in. Transformers blowing and a lot of trees coming down at the leading edge of this cell. So if you're in that area, you need to make sure not just that you're indoors, but away from windows, because this
Right
wind
over
is
here,
really
DeQuinder is going to be
there
right
it
off
is,
of Gratiot.
So you've got a lot of those very strong winds rolling in. I mean, the fact that you're losing a lot of power along with it, and also getting a report that there may have been a lightning strike that has caused a building fire in Tecumseh in Lenawee County.
Okay.
So that's another one there, unfortunately, that we've seen a lot of different lightning strikes. We've seen a tree on a home in Chelsea. Potentially a fire caused here by lightning that is still actively burning in Tecumseh. And then another one, of course, the strong winds from Eaton Rapids that rolled their way all the way to the east. And now we've got transformers blowing at 11 Mile and DeQuinder, along with a lot of branches and trees falling there.
Yeah, and just look at that lightning, the amount of lightning that's coming down right now over near Livonia.
Yeah.
And over in those areas, just it's really, really firing up.
If you want to do, if you zoom out real quick and then use, I think it's the point query in that that second box. It's the point query labeled one. Click and drag a box across that. We should get a full query on the amount of lightning within there in the last 5 minutes.
Well, let's see which one.
So in the second, in the second palette box, the point query one. Click and drag across there.
There we go.
Yep.
Oh, well, I think that's pointer.
So there should be the primary one, and then there will be a .1, and that one will give us. But in the last 5 minutes, there's been quite a bit.
Yeah, for some reason. Hold on, let me see if I'm
I would bet some of these too, if they're starting to blow some of the transformers in that area too, that has got to be some of the positive
I
charged
see.
lightning bolts.
I'm pretty blind this morning, this evening. Remember, I came in at 3.
You've been awake for a little while.
I've been awake
from
for a
3
little while,
a.m.
so things are looking a little blurry to me.
We can't keep Vitas away. So just within that one spot in the past couple of minutes, 25 lightning strikes. This is what draws my attention right there. Negative charge strikes, positive charge strikes. Positive charge strikes are the ones that are the heavy hitters. A lot of times those are the ones that have more of kind of that purple or that blue hue. They're the ones that do a lot more transformer damage, a lot more power line damage, a lot more house issues. If you get those charges, the fact we have that many within this storm means it is a very strong severe thunderstorm that's rolling its way to the east.
That's
That is the big key right
Hear
here.
it rumbling above the station
A lot
right
of
in
loud
studios.
thunder actually above us right
And another thing that you notice is that a lot of times in these thunderstorms where the heaviest rain is coming down, you usually have a lot of the kinetic energy as far as the lightning strikes. And oh my goodness, look at Campus Martius, the blowing there. I'm going to go back to that.
Yeah,
real
let's
quick,
bring
if you don't
that
mind.
back up.
I will go back to that because it is blowing
As that cell's moving
through
in
downtown.
right
You
now.
can see the waves,
Strong
of
winds
rain.
moving through.
Take a look at that rain just blowing in the trees.
Right on the roof. Look at the wind hitting the rain right there.
Yeah, it's blowing through pretty good. And I mean, you know, one moment the sun is out, is blaring sun, hot. And you know, one of the things are the temperatures today, which we expected up in those 90s, made it feel so hot and humid, the atmosphere just has to allow for it to let out.
And on that note, it is so hot and humid outside. I just got an update, 60,000 without power right now from DTE alone, and a lot more than that. Let me get another reading here from consumers as well that we're working with. So DTE, 60,000 currently without power from that line, and it's still not done.
Right.
Consumers Energy, 125,000 that we're working with. So we're more. We're working with a solid amount of outages, almost 200,000 outages right now throughout the state of Michigan.
That's impressive, and you know that's because of wind.
Completely.
So we're talking about
All
the
wind.
wind.
All
And
wind.
speaking of adding to this, we have another county up here, Lapeer County.
Lapeer County, new warning.
So we have a new warning as this storm still is pretty strong heading up through Lapeer County. 7:45 radar indicated 3/4 inch hail, 60 plus mile an hour winds with that. And then of course we've added also Macomb County. So you folks are also in this until 7:45. The storms are knocking on your door. They're just west of I-75, making their way through Pontiac. Oak Park, folks are getting some heavy rain, gusty winds. Troy, so if you're up there near the mall, up near Big Beaver, those areas, this is going to be starting to make your way into Macomb. Those dark clouds, you see them, it's heading your direction. And so you have time to put away a little yard furniture.
Yes.
You know, if you need to batten down the hatch for a minute, you got a second. But right now.
Our assignment desk doing a little bit of quick math here for
What you
us, that the outage numbers that we've been getting to with the intensity of these straight line winds, Macomb, obviously you're the next ones, but the outages jumped more than 50% in less than 5 minutes.
Oh.
So those winds, when they move in, it happens fast. So that's the line. Again, moving about 45 miles per hour. Perfect. Thank you. In Warren by about 6:55. Warren just had a ton of outages earlier this week in the intense heat. Now there's a chance. Honestly, I'd say more likely that you're going to have more because we've already had that issue. Shelby Township, 7 o'clock. Clinton Township there, by about 7:11. Mount Clemens by about 7:17. Chesterfield, 7:25. The Lenox area by 7:36. New Baltimore by 7:40. It's going to clear the area. It may honestly pick up some speed here. Actually,
It's moving
over
along
time.
pretty good at
It
a pretty
is.
good clip. And with that, we showed this a little bit ago, the damage reports, as they keep coming in, a lot of them are wind. So we're starting to see some
There
up
they
north. You see near Commerce and up near Clarksville, north of Farmington and all that. So Waterford, you're starting to see a lot of wind reports and also heavy rain. This can create some flooding too. This rain is coming down at such a quick pace. You can get some quick flooding in low-lying areas or traditional areas that flood. But it's been bone dry recently, just the heat.
Yes.
So that helps a bit. But at the same time, if you get a deluge of rain just coming down over your area, you might run into some ponding and standing water. And remember, a lot of folks are getting on the roadways too, heading on their trips. If they're heading out of town, they have to deal with this on the highways. So it's going to be a slow go.
And tomorrow's still hot. Even though it's not as hot as the rest of this week, tomorrow's still a high near almost 90 degrees.
Right.
And we've got so many people now without power. And what you were saying with the dry ground, great to be able to soak it in, but the initial hit, it's like when you totally promise that you're going to take care of that house plant, but you leave it for too long, You finally remember to water it, you do, and it all pools up.
It does.
That it takes a minute to soak in. So the ground will accept the water, but that initial hit right there is easily a setup where we could get that potential for some flooding. But look at the intensity of the rain, the lightning.
Midtown.
Strong,
Midtown is getting
strong winds going
heavy
right
rain.
through Midtown. There's Hamtramck right there. Royal Oak seeing some pretty solid downpours too. All these warnings here, the Wayne County and Monroe County warning until 7:15. That one might be canceled a little early. You've got all the way up into Oakland and into Macomb County. That one is going to continue until 7:45. You got
Okay,
an update?
update from Cassandra. She said 96,000 people out of power. We're almost at 100,000 people.
96,000.
Yeah, that's a lot of people out of power. So,
All right. Whoa, it just jumped again. It actually just jumped again within seconds. Within
Over in these
seconds.
areas.
If they can let her know, 107,000.
107. We keep adding to the total.
Just a moment ago,
Yeah.
107,000 without power.
Yeah, and here's the problem with that.
And that's from DTE alone.
Yeah, add into this. This is rain cooling air to a certain extent, but it's still hot and humid out there. So folks who don't have power, they're gonna definitely be feeling this. It's gonna still be muggy and humid as we get into the evening. The cooling hasn't officially pushed in yet. It does help, but nonetheless, it will be hot and muggy. And so folks' air conditioning may not be working, and you have to deal with that heat. So once again, zooming this out a little bit, all the counties that we have in our area, a quick little wrap here. We do have Oakland County. We still have Genesee County.
That one's almost done there,
Almost
very
done.
nearly.
Yeah, 7:15, and then we have, which was added, Lapeer County until 7:45. We're looking at Oakland County. We have this until 7:15. These storms are going to continue to move their way into Macomb County, and then as we get south, we're looking into the Detroit Metro. This a lot of wind with this and heavy thunderstorms. We're looking at 7:15, but this storm is still cranking along. It may push out of the city, heading up in Grosse Pointe and those areas up into Warren in the next about 15, 20 minutes. Then we get south, things are starting to calm down in Monroe County. Some rain, and it's about to end in a few minutes, but nonetheless, the heaviest storms right now are in Wayne County and up in eastern Oakland County. So definitely 100,000, man.
I mean,
a little over 100,000.
Massively, and that's just from DTE alone. New reports, multiple large trees down in Hazel Park, lots of trees and power lines down in Plymouth, Ypsilanti, a lot of trees and power lines down as well. Emergency management, lots of trees and limbs down throughout the entirety of Wayne County. And the main line now, actually, if you can step the radar back just a hair, well, we will in a second. We'll step the radar back here in a second. And the line that's moving into Macomb County, the one in Oakland County moving into Macomb County, I feel like that line, the one from, I feel like that has actually intensified a little bit. So,
so where do you want to?
yeah, so let's go in a little closer to Oakland County and into Macomb County. Yep, right there. So and then let's bring that line in, because that one cell from Livonia, watch the line as it comes into Waterford, and then watch as it moves east of Waterford. Look at the line and how it starts to strengthen. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's re-strengthening and picking
right there.
up intensity.
It's grabbing more energy because the
is.
sun is still out over there.
It is.
Remember, the sun is still, even though it's setting soon, it's still out and it's still charging up the atmosphere.
If you're in Warren, if you're
Yeah.
anywhere in Macomb County, you need to be inside right now.
Yeah.
Stay away from windows, because the wind speed that we've been getting with this and how rapidly that line has actually had a chance to reform, you need to be inside away from windows, because we've been seeing a massive amount of power outages, and that line has completely regained its strength before it heads in your direction. You already have a severe thunderstorm warning. That may get updated here, because that strengthening was very quick.
Yeah, that was quick. And so it's, sometimes you're seeing them when they go through, they kind of let out the flow. They have that, inflow, and it brings in a lot of the energy. And once it kind of starts to deteriorate and blow out all of its energy, well, sometimes ahead of it, it's going to be lifting the energy ahead of it and re-strengthen, because the air is yet tapped to tap into that potential energy. So that's what we're seeing out there with this generation of this storm line here. So you get a pretty good squall line moving into Rochester, Sterling Heights, and Chesterfield. You see the timeline, 6:54, that's like now. 7:04, Sterling Heights. We're looking at Fraser at 7:14. Clinton Township, 7:20 arrival. And we're looking at Chesterfield about 7:34. Lenox, 7:44. And New Baltimore at 7:50. So, you know, if you're in those areas, you have time to kind of prep, get your car in the garage, just bring the kids out of the yard. And, you know, if some folks are grilling out tonight. I mean, pre-holiday, right? Some folks are off. Not everybody's working today. So get that pre-holiday going, and you have to deal with this stormy weather. And that's kind of one of the things. Now, the velocity, I'll kick over here real quick.
Yeah, let's see some of the stronger gusts. Just got a report, Windsor officially gusted to 70 plus.
Oh, wow.
Right on the other side of the river, which means downtown when we were showing Campus Martius, that's no joke. Look at the pinks right there still. The very intense winds crossing the river and even going, let's work our way down 75 slowly from downtown, right down 75. You can see we get toward Lincoln Park, very strong winds right there. Southgate, Wyandotte, seeing very strong winds there crossing the river. Trenton, some very strong winds as well.
Yeah,
those gray lightning bolts are the ones that happened about 5 minutes ago. So those will slowly go away. But I mean, some much stronger straight line winds that have been popping up within there, even all the way up to the north. I mean, nothing has been at that baseline strength. Even the warnings that we have at 60, all the gusts have been more than 60.
And you know, it's interesting. Detroit River is wide enough. You get no buildings, no trees, nothing to block that front as it pushes through. So when it's crossing over downtown, you got all those tall buildings to kind of help deteriorate some of the wind flow. But then it gets just on the other side of it, you get a gust coming in. It's going to be pretty strong.
Very much so.
That's a nice wide field of openness to allow for that.
The wind intensity too, I mean, it just goes back. They just doubled down on the intensity actually of the winds that rolled through Plymouth and Plymouth Township.
Right.
That's one that really is kind of the key. If we can make sure that we get word to one of our crews that we need to head to Plymouth, is where we really have a lot of damage coming in, and trees and power lines down throughout that area is one of the primary ones that we need to check out.
Plymouth is the place, and also we've heard
that
Ann
line
Arbor.
intensifying.
But
going
see
on
that
here.
line right there?
It is.
That's the wind.
Yep, that's that main line, that gust front out ahead of the
right
storm.
there.
That is
the rain's
not
back here.
Yeah, the storm right there where you're pointing out from Warren, that's the storm itself. That line right there that Vitas is highlighting, that's the wind before you even get the storm. That part, that's the gust front out ahead of it. So you get hit first with the strong winds, and then you get hit again with the main part of the storm that contains the rest of the wind. And it's been intensifying as it moves into Macomb County.
And good thing is that there's not been a ton of rotation close. There's been some cells with a little bit of rotation, but as of now, I'm going to go back to our Doppler. So like we were saying, I'm going to highlight that. We were saying where the rain is. Look how far out the wind gusts are. So here's the rain shaft, and you're going to see that heavy downpour
All
of
the way
rain.
down the line.
But take a look at the wind. The wind is pushing well out ahead of it by about 8 miles, you know?
That's a wild distance. I mean,
Yeah.
the amount of wind that's out ahead of it. So if you start
5
to
to 8
feel the
miles.
wind in Macomb or in Harrison or New Baltimore, for example, coming up here shortly, you need to make sure you're inside because you're lucky enough you're going to get a heads up that the main line is coming. You're going to feel that strong wind first, and the rest of it is on the way. You need to be indoors especially. And unfortunately, we got to stay away from windows because all this wind has been much stronger than the baseline. We have not been at the regular strength.
Exactly. Don't want to forget our friends up to the north with your thunderstorm warning going till 7:45. We're looking at Lapeer County. And you folks up in Attica, Lapeer, Almont are going to definitely get some heavy rain as it heads up towards I-69. You're definitely getting some heavy rainfall right now, and that's going to continue to move through with that cell. Stretching down towards Addison, Oxford, Oakland, you're getting some heavy rain, lightning and thunder, but it's really the rain and the wind, and that wind's making its way into Sterling Heights. Macomb, it's on your way. Bruce, as well as Sterling Heights into Warren, you're just starting to get the heavy rainfall. So folks who are traveling along I-94, 696 interchange, definitely some heavy rain. Northeastern portions of Wayne County. We're talking about Grosse Pointe, Hamtramck. You still have a lot of lightning, and this is a highly populated urban area where you have a lot of parking lots. People are still shopping out at the mall, wherever they are. They're, coming out of the grocery store, and it is buckets of rain in low-lying areas. And you're going to have to deal with that wind, and you just may want to just stay in the store or restaurant and just kind of hang out.
Let it go through.
Because look at this lightning. It's a lot of lightning heading over to Grosse Pointe. You see.
Within
really
this
come
view, I know we looked at it a little earlier. I'm wondering if this right here, all this new bolts, I wonder if there's still that positive, negative, like, I wonder if there's still a lot more of those positive strikes there. Let's see if we can, let's check that again because there was so many positive charged lightning strikes within there. I mean, the amount that was causing it, the reason we look at that is positive and negative charged lightning strikes. Most of the time it's negative charge. When you have a storm that's doing that, with that many positive charge
Yeah, that's
lightning
a lot of
strikes,
volt, a lot of energy.
that is an extremely intense cell.
Yeah.
Because positive strikes are the ones that just blast power. They
Mm-hmm.
blow transformers. Those are the ones that can cause fires. Positive charge strikes, you have about 70% of the time it's negative charge, 30% of the time it's positive. This cell continues to be a very powerful severe storm that's rolling its way to the east.
Yeah, and it had a lot of fuel to work with. So you see all that lightning, I-94, I mean, folks along I-94 trying to travel right now, I-75, I-94 interchange through Hamtramck, really coming down heavy in pace. We're looking at down towards Grosse Pointe. If you're going down I-75, definitely the heavy rain. I talked to a friend of mine who just came into town from Indianapolis. These folks are going to the Usher and Chris Brown concert tonight at Ford Field.
I don't know if that's going to be starting anytime
Well,
soon.
well, let me say, I don't know. They got
I know
generators,
it's indoors,
which is good.
but
let me tell you, I was talking to her, and she said, and I told her, and she was staying out by Romulus. I said, you got only about 45 minutes to get down there to get in before the rain gets you. You don't want to walk into the stadium wet. And there's a lot of people who are filtering in for that concert. So, you know,
they were holding people in their cars at Pine Knob, too,
Yeah.
even.
Oh, yes,
so
that's right.
multiple different spots.
Yeah.
By the way, just got another update. It was 5 minutes ago. We were at 107,000 out with
Okay.
DTE.
Where are we at
We've
now?
jumped now to 144.
Wow, another
So
almost 50,000.
It keeps going.
Yeah, so once again, it's really a wind event and lightning, heavy rain too, but we've had some reports of hail in this system. Again, as we've been watching it, it has been a strong line of storms that have moved through. And as I roll this back for you, Ahmed, if you want to point it out,
Yes.
you can see how these storms kind of made their way in, coming in from the west, and can't forget back towards Ann Arbor. Boy, they
They were
some
the first ones to get hit
Yeah,
from
there
Chelsea
was-
to Ann Arbor and
Yeah.
going into Livonia, that main
pretty
cell.
heavy. So you can see look at all the lightning. That thing was rocking south of Jackson. So you can see a lot
Lightning
of energy.
barrage there.
Yeah, this all started back over, earlier this morning when I was in, I was showing it in Iowa. I said, this is the storm starting to fire up, just starting. And then west of Chicago, they started to get the warnings going. And then they had the severe weather coming into southern. And in fact, I sent you that little video clip on
Yes.
Instagram.
Yep.
At the beaches on the west side of the state along Lake Michigan, though there was a lot of people out there watching those dark. I'm like, are y'all going to
They
go in
waited
or
on the
what?
beach for way too, which actually that's a good
Dangerous.
note for the weekend. That's a very good note for the weekend. We still have storm chances Saturday and Sunday
Yeah.
in the afternoon and evening.
Right.
If you see the big scary cloud coming, do not stay on the beach.
Right,
That
lightning and
happened
thunder.
today.
Yeah, give yourself time to get off the beach. If it's going to rain, look, just go ahead, head out, and be safe with you and your family. But like I said, the lightning is dangerous. If you can hear lightning, you'd be hit by. If you can hear thunder, you can be struck by lightning. And we tell kids at school, when it roars,
Go indoors.
boom, there you go. And that's what we try to let people know. So, you could be struck by lightning on the open. So now we're seeing a lot of lightning going out over the lake. And there's another concern. There's a lot of people out on their boats. Lake St. Clair right now, hopefully you found safe harbor because remember, we're going to see these winds really picking up across the lake as well. So
They
it's
really
just
do
not land,
continue
it's
to.
open water.
And let's look at the velocity data for this cell right here that's moving into Macomb County. Because remember, that line strengthened about 10 minutes ago. It started to really form quickly.
Yeah.
There it is, right
There it
there.
is, that.
Strong straight line winds, not rotation, but very
Right.
strong straight line. Anywhere in that magenta. That's going to
Yeah.
be the next concern right there.
Right up in here, this whole
Yep.
line. But this outlier is really the wind pushing quite a bit. This cell has a lot of energy with it coming out of downtown Detroit.
It really does.
Yeah, heading over into the water. But then our friends in Canada who are watching us over in Tecumseh and also Lakeshore, Windsor already got thumped. But this is
70
going to
mile an hour
continue.
winds in Windsor.
Yeah, this is going to continue up into Canada, up towards Chatham and Dresden and North Buxton. These areas are going to continue to see these storms heading your way. We also still have the activity to the north that's firing up. So just to add it, we have another severe thunderstorm warning. This is now new, and they're putting it ahead of the storm. So folks may not even have rain yet, but you're over in St. Clair County. We have this severe thunderstorm warning until 8 p.m. with 3/4 inch hail. And the real concern is the winds and the heavy downpours, rain and lightning. So folks in Brockway and Clyde and Columbus, as well as Casco and looking at St. Clair, Port Huron, and the bridge gets backed up with all this traffic. So, a lot of people are going to be in line there. Marine City, Perch Point, as well as Roberts Landing. All of you folks, New Baltimore, you're next, as well as Chesterfield. We're looking at some heavy wind heading your way and heavy downpours of rain. So
It looks like
that's our
we
new-
are, so Southfield Freeway, yes. So so Vetus, I'm going to give him the props on this one. Vetus said at first that there was going to be a flooding risk with this. M39, so Southfield, just north of Ford Road, significant flooding underneath the overpasses there. Traffic is completely backed up on the
which road
north
is it?
and southbound side. So
On which road?
On Southfield. Southfield, M39.
Southfield?
Yep, Southfield Freeway, M39 at Ford Road. That's the one that we've been looking at. MDOT just sending through this alert right now in all caps. Freeway is flooded. Do not drive through. Avoid the
look at
area.
yeah.
Significant backup there due to the flooding.
Yeah, I see it right here.
Yep.
So I'm pulling it up on traffic. I can see it here. I'm going to see if I can bring that up.
Yeah.
But it looks
if you
like
can, if you can load that there, I think we've got the traffic just after radar on there, so it should be good to
closed
go.
due to an accident. Well, it says accident, but I says I don't say flooding, but this is Southfield Freeway, but it could be an accident because of the flooding. But it is backed all the way up.
Yep,
So
there it is. Yeah, I've got the one MDOT alert that just came through that says flooding, so they must have updated it just now.
You said
All
that-
lanes, northbound M39, Ford Road, freeway flooded. Do not drive through the standing water.
You said you had the traffic video.
Yep, yeah, we got that right over there. Let's see if we can pop that up real quick. Oh, yeah, disabled vehicle now in there. So there's an accident within the flooded roadway. That's right
Is
after
your graphic
Warren.
called traffic? I just want to make sure.
Yep, yeah, the one just called traffic right there.
Okay. There it is.
There it is.
okay.
Yep.
So
There we go. That's the spot. That black right there, that just went away. That's the spot. So the flooding is right here. They haven't tagged it on our system there. But that accident is the one that we just talked about. So that accident is a stalled vehicle within the flooded roadway. And just south of that is a full shutdown due to significant flooding going underneath those overpasses and along Southfield. A lot of water within the roadway there.
Yeah.
But that's what that accident is. It is, let's see what they're saying. Several vehicles disabled within the flooding. That's the concern now.
yeah, a big problem there, and it's because once again we are seeing heavy amounts of rainfall coming down, and it is going to continue to be just a lot of rain, a lot of rain that's going to continue across the area. So let's go back to the radar real quick.
Yep.
With our current warnings, I'm going to bring that up. If you want to highlight that, I'll kind of go around the
we go.
neighborhood.
Perfect.
And let's see where I'll start up here to the north if you want to go ahead and
Lapeer
holler them out.
County, severe thunderstorm warning for Lapeer County here for these storms. They may not look like a lot, but they are windy. That warning goes until 7:45. Moving over to the east here, St. Clair County. This warning is our newest one. This goes until 8 o'clock tonight because the line is in Macomb County now and heading in your direction. This is your heads up in St. Clair County. You need to go indoors. This is the warning in Macomb County. This goes until 7:45. Vetus has been highlighting it that this may be the main line, and it packs a wallop. But notice this little area of green that the radar shows out ahead of it. That is the gust front. You're going to get hit with a line of wind first, and then you'll get hit with the line of storms. They are separate right now. So make sure, again, you feel that wind, you head indoors. This warning here in eastern Oakland County, this goes until 7:15. It will either be allowed to expire here in a couple minutes, which is probably the most likely, or they'll cancel it early. I would expect that this one's just going to be allowed to expire here coming up in a couple of minutes. Wayne County, this one until 7:15. Part of Wayne County was canceled. It looks like, yes, so the Wayne County warning will be allowed to expire at 7:15. We are taking a power hit here. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. There,
Yeah, you back?
I think we're good.
Yeah, I heard it rumble out there.
Yep. So everything just flashed there. So we should be good.
Is your hair curly?
There
it is.
the
You hear it?
thunder. There
Well,
it
now-
is.
now you know what it's
All
like to have an afro.
So we're just going to
Okay.
keep going, and if the directors say that we're off, then we're off. But I think we're still good to
Yeah,
go. So
we got hit. I could hear it zap,
Yeah.
and then we heard the thunder
every
above
single
the
thing
station.
just went kind of
went a little
skittered
hair.
there for a second.
So, back to
Grosse
this.
Pointe Park there, obviously under that, but Wayne County warning will be allowed to expire at 7:15. We go down to the south, and the
And
good news
Monroe.
is all the ones down to the south, those are done. The only warnings left there are up to the northeast. So.
Oh, I hear hills.
Yep, there we go. So Vetus is getting an update
What
there
is it
from our
again?
assignment
Salute to
desk.
America.
Cassandra.
Okay, so Cassandra has a message. Go ahead,
Yes.
tell us.
Salute to America's performance tonight has been canceled.
Completely?
Completely.
All right, so
we go.
Dearborn got hit. We knew that. We had the really bad hit that was there. We mentioned specifically that when the line was going through, we pointed out Greenfield Village and Henry Ford.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, down
we
there.
mentioned that. So they've canceled everything for tonight. So if
Okay.
you're trying to go to Greenfield Village or the Henry Ford for Salute to America, don't go. It's done.
Right.
Canceled. Do not go. Understandable, the amount of outages that are coming out
Right.
from there.
Yeah. I'm wondering even if the concert is delayed the Chris Brown concert. Could it be delayed? Possibly because of
Even
the
if
storm.
it's indoors, there's so much
Indoors.
power. There's so many power
There's
outages.
power
and damage
outages,
around.
people trying to get there.
We'll
I
have to check
mean,
that. We'll
I
have to check
wonder,
on
you know,
that.
that's a big event. I wonder if the Chris Brown
If it's
concert-
possible to check on some of the
Okay.
concerts too around the
What you
area
got?
too.
So
Cassandra has
Taco
something.
Fest in Royal Oak is currently suspended, and the City of Royal Oak Emergency Services are currently responding to a significant number of downed wires, fallen trees, and other weather-related calls.
Perfect. All right, that's right from
Okay.
Cassandra at our assignment desk. A lot of outages and trees coming on in. I mean, the last update from DTE was 4 minutes ago at 144,000 out. I would be shocked
Right.
if that number doesn't go up again here in a
Right.
moment.
Okay.
We're going to have to keep an eye on that.
So once again, I'm going to draw a little line on here because we're seeing the other ones go in. All that lightning we're talking about is in Lake St. Clair, and I'm hoping boaters, mariners out there have found safe harbor.
They need to
because
be.
we talk about the land surfaces, homes, and all of that. People driving, but there's a lot of people out on the boats because it's a hot day. They had the day off. They wanted to get out on the boat with the family or friends. Hey, we're going to take the boat out. Let's just cruise, do some fishing, hang out. But if you're in Lake St. Clair, I hope that they really had taken safe harbor and found a good place because the winds are very strong across the lake, but then also a lot of lightning, and you're in the open out there. It can strike a boat very easily or someone out on a boat.
Completely.
So this cell is very active going out over Lake St. Clair, just north of Lake Shore and heading into Canada, over into Ontario. But once again, this front, the remaining heaviest thunderstorms are in Macomb County right now and up in Lapeer County. And folks over in St. Clair County are waiting for that to get there. So there's still a pretty good gust front with these storms, as I can kind of highlight it here. I'm giving it a little
There it
line
is.
here you can kind of see there. And I'll draw here for you, Ahmed.
We just got an update actually too about Taco Fest. Multiple tents actually were lifted into
Oh,
the
yeah.
air and thrown. There is damage at Taco Fest, is
Oh,
what
my.
we're hearing. What
Oh.
Cassandra was just telling us from the desk. There is some damage actually at Taco Fest from tents that were picked up and lifted. Let me see the last update. Our digital desk actually just updated DTE 170,000 outages
107.
now.
So we're getting close to 200,000.
Yep.
So Cassandra, tell us what you got now.
We have an update from the Dearborn Mayor Abdul Hammoud, who said their city experienced significant storm damage with numerous downed trees and large branches reported across the city. Crews are actively out on calls and responding, prioritizing the most urgent hazards first. So that area, as you said, very hard hit.
Oh, DTE, I'm sorry, it's not 170. It just
you.
jumped again. DTE is now at 219,000.
Oh man, this is going to keep going up.
219,000.
This is going to keep going up because we still have the storm. As I drew a path of where this storm is going. Ahmed, if you want to take charge and go ahead and name those off
Yep.
here.
Macomb County moving into St. Clair. St. Clair, I'm serious. This is your heads up that this line has been no joke. You just heard me say 219,000 without power, that there are several spots that have really quite a bit of damage. As this line has strengthened and is heading in your direction, some of these outlooks here at about 45 to 50 miles per hour are Maida by 726, so very soon. New Baltimore by 735, Richmond by 741, the Ira area by 746, Columbus by 8, 805 for Cotterville. Again, these are give or take about 5 minutes. We got to give that a little bit of that pad because it can vary a bit as it encounters different air in the atmosphere. But every single part of this line of storms has been nothing but gas as it's rolled through.
Right.
We have quite a bit of damage, a lot of power outages, so many different spots that have been hit by very intense winds. That's the main issue here for tonight. St. Clair County, you're the last one in the line. Use this as your heads up to make sure you are indoors and you're away from windows as this line moves in.
And I want to show that video again. Where someone
Yes.
Sent that in that backyard. You can get an indication. You're talking about tents blowing.
Yep.
Take a look at that umbrella
And
in
here
the
goes
backyard.
the patio furniture right away. There it goes, right across. I'm going to
And
step
look at
over
the
here actually.
look at
so
the
that you
winds.
can
Look at
see
the
it.
rain. That's
The intensity of it.
that's
It
a good
starts with there,
60 mile an hour or greater.
at least. And then there it goes, right there. There's the patio furniture flying off to the side. That's as that main line moves in. Remember, so Vitas has been saying you get hit with that first line of wind, and then the main line hits a moment or two later. That's a good visualization of what we're talking about. You get pulses of these gusts within the line, and that's a great show about what it does across the area.
Yeah,
So a very
100%.
strong line of storm still rolling its way on through.
Okay, so we're going to continue to track these. So I'm going to show you how these were moving through. Once again, we saw these storms lining up from the west here as we went through the day. We started off, and there's even lines of storms down to the south of us right now that are pushing through just east of Fort Wayne and moving through like Defiance and these areas south of Toledo. So folks who are traveling today still have to deal with this, even to the south. There's still that one tornado warning by itself out in
All the way over in Illinois.
But you can see that as this line has been pushing through, it's been along this front that is going to continue to kind of bow on through parts of southeast Michigan and northwest Ohio. And it will bring a bit of cooling, but yet with all these folks that are out of power, the concern is that they're going to have to deal with hot, humid conditions tonight until those power lines are up. And we really appreciate all the crews, all the emergency folks out there that are going to be working in the heat and in the threat of these heavy storms this evening. So we appreciate all of them out there that are going to be working. Give them space as they're out on the roadways trying to get your power back up on a holiday weekend. And it's a hot holiday weekend. So once again, I'll zoom back in and highlight the counties. Now you see an update here, if you want to notice here. Oakland County is now out of the storm warning. I need to move these.
Bring that back to the current.
Bring that over. It looked like,
Oakland
wait a
County
minute, another
expired.
line.
Yeah, Oakland County expired. Wayne County expired. We've got Macomb. We've got St. Clair.
Yeah,
and
these three.
Lapeer will be allowed to expire very, very soon. That one should be done very shortly.
Yeah.
But St. Clair, you're the last one in the line, and we're going to stay on the stream until it's done because of how significant this line truly has been.
Look at all the lightning over Lake St. Clair and over parts of Canada, over Ontario.
For
there.
all our friends over on the other side of the river and over in Windsor, all the way over toward Leamington, the Lakeshore community, Tecumseh that was over there. We've got Tecumseh with damage in Lenawee County here, but Tecumseh over there as well. I mean, lots. I mean, the intensity of the lightning is just wild to see right now.
And that's going to Chatham. So Chatham and Kent going to really get some heavy downpours of rain. And like we said, the heavy downpours of rain have caused issues too on the roadways. Once again, if you are downtown, this is an issue. Avoid the Southfield Freeway. It was shut down because of flooding that was in there. Now, I'm not sure if they've gotten it back open.
I can check here. I'll double check here real quick. Looks like vehicle disabled, more vehicles disabled. More vehicles disabled. Let me see if they're still.
Well, it's still there, it says.
Yeah, still backed up, still closed. So don't. There are some cars that are trying to drive through it. They're stuck.
Yeah, and you see how backed up it is. And there's other roads that are back up, US 24 and also I-94. You know, where there's low areas, they're going to have some flooding, and also the volume of traffic with people just moving around. Look at downtown. It's just a lot. All of downtown. It's just a mess. Look at the red.
It's normally busy anyway, but the amount of wind that went ripping on through there.
There could be.
If you want to still use that same traffic scene within there, we can just swap it quick. But pop radar up and let's see Campus Martius again.
Yeah.
We'll just pop radar up as the placeholder and we can switch it over. But that's wild. Let's see. Lots of strong winds downtown. That's been a big issue, obviously. People that have been hearing sirens, we do not have any tornado reports. We didn't have any big areas of rotation, but very intense straight line winds. That's definitely one that we have to look at. So make sure that if you head outdoors, you stay away from down power lines or anything like that.
Do you have Campus Martius yet?
No, not yet. If you want to, we can use either the traffic computer or we can swap over. I have the traffic scene I was using for that.
Okay, if you can throw that up real quick, I'll keep it on the radar.
Oh, I handed control back over to you.
Okay.
Save. As soon as that power hit happened, I ended up having to force it back over. Yeah. That was the main one. Let's see. But again, a reminder, the amount of water that's over the roadway there, you do not want to travel through there. I've seen a couple people trying to go through there on the camera. Do not do it. They are stuck, and they're going to have to pay a big old bill now. So please do not try to drive through flood waters. The amount of water underneath some of these overpasses is really quite large, unfortunately.
I don't know if I can get that done. It's a video scene, right? You got to load that?
I was going to say, if you want to pop it up, actually, just throw radar up on Max 1.
Yeah.
And then on the traffic computer, pop Campus Martius back up on there, kind of
over
like
here.
the old school way. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it was giving us some issues as soon as we took that hit. I was like, eek.
That's why I was like, wait a minute.
There we go. So while you're getting that, again, the 3 warnings that we've got: Lapeer County until 7:45. That one will be done soon. St. Clair County until 8 o'clock, and then Macomb County here until 7:45. That's loud.
Boy, that hit my car. It's on fire probably right now.
I hope not. Nope.
I mean, that
we'll
was loud.
write that off with the insurance then.
Yeah.
But that line moving on into St. Clair County here, definitely some strong winds. That main cell that's over Lake St. Clair, I really hope nobody was out on the water for that.
that's my concern, because then you could have boats that have issues and
Yep.
people out on the open water.
We had multiple different sailboats that were overturned by Belle Isle last week.
That's right.
When the strong wind gusts came through.
They had
So
to rescue
it's
several
not
people.
it's not something that hasn't happened before.
Right.
Yeah. So once again, there you go. You're looking at our final 3 warnings, and they're still holding it because the winds are so strong. And you may look at this and say, well, where's the winds? Well, that little line right there is the winds. That line is the strongest winds across the area. And
It's still
that's
doing
blowing into, you're starting to get breezy over there in parts of St. Clair County. And then the rain will follow. But the good news is that this thing is going to continue to blow out and head out of much of the area. I'm going to head into Campus Martius. You wanted to check that?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take
there
a
you
look
go.
down. Very wet.
It's improved. It's improved.
Looks like they're cleaning up, actually. So,
Oh, yeah.
There was a table there. I mean, hopefully they just put it away. But I mean, there's definitely some stuff there. We were looking at it earlier while the wind went through, and that wind was intense.
Yeah.
That went on through Campus Martius. That
Yeah,
was wild.
I'm not sure. Was there like some type of watch party or a movie night? Is that what they? Because they sometimes on certain nights they do a movie night.
Yeah,
with their
sometimes they
screen.
do movie night stuff down
Because there were people starting to sit down and set up over there, and I was thinking to myself, "Oh my goodness! I hope that they know
Bad timing.
something's coming. You need to get into a close." There's a couple coffee shops around there and restaurants where people could duck into, but boy,
DTE also, by the way, just jumped.
what is
DTE
that?
now up to 238.
Oh my goodness. So 238,000 people out of power right now, and we're seeing a lot of damage reports out there across the area. We're going to continue to track this as we're going through the evening, and we're looking at, I said, a large, reporting multiple large tree limbs down in Hazel Park. That's another thing we were hearing about. Riverview had strong gusty winds going through. We had some hail that was also associated with these storms. And going back to the radar, this is going to continue to head up into your area, up into Macomb County, making its way through your area now, the main line. So it's really coming down in Macomb. You've seen it. It's just made its way through Richmond and New Baltimore next in line. And then up to the north soon, the warning will be expiring for over towards eastern portions of Lapeer County. You should be seeing that expire soon because your storms are getting much lesser, but now it's really kind of starting to make its way into St. Clair County.
I'm trying to get the full numbers for the state right now because with
Yeah.
DTE where it is now at 238, almost 239, and then with the amount here that we're working with. So from consumers to DTE, Southern Michigan right now 366,000 currently without power.
Wow.
Households.
That's a
that we're
lot.
working with. Yeah.
And that's a lot of people. So I'm going to run this in a loop, and you can see how these storms just kind of gathered strength earlier today.
It looks like
And-
Livonia and Dearborn, Westland, where you're showing there. I mean, those are some of the spots that got hit the absolute hardest along the 96, 94 Michigan Avenue
Yeah.
corridor right through there from Washtenaw into Central Wayne County. Looks like they got hit the hardest.
Yeah. So the warnings haven't continued into Canada. Usually they'll pop up some warnings too, but as of now, we are looking at. Let me see. Maybe they have.
With Environment Canada.
Yeah, environment. I'm going to bring that up here. Yeah, they do have warnings. I'm sorry.
Oh.
So there is active warnings there and severe thunderstorm warnings in Canada. You do have for Chatham, Kent, Essex County. That's going to continue until for about 2 hours here. So we're going to continue moving east at 40 to 50 mile an hour. That's a fast-moving storm.
Oh, it's trucking.
Yeah,
it's
this thing is moving
absolutely
strong.
moving quickly.
So, folks in Kent, Essex, and Chatham County, we're looking at these severe thunderstorm warnings for your area. So, just be prepared in those areas in Canada. If you have us on, you're watching us on the stream. So, we're going to continue. I guess we can go through these again and take a look at those winds. I'm going to move that right here. We can see those winds are blowing pretty good just east of Richmond. That line there is the gust front from eastern portions of, it looks like this storm is going to continue to kind of fizzle out as we see it move east, but it's still strong enough winds for them to issue that severe thunderstorm warning in National Weather Service. So east of Macomb, New Baltimore, we're going to continue to see that make its way east.
Yep.
Moving pretty good clip there.
The fact that you've got those gusty winds still that are out ahead of it and it's been able to sustain itself off of the heat and the humidity that we've been working with.
Yeah.
I know we talked about this. It's been about an hour since we
curious.
last mentioned it, but the damage
to see
reports
that.
coming across the area and all the way off to the west, I mean,
Yeah.
it has to meet that criteria.
Look at the temperature.
You still got the 90s and the 80s there and
ahead
allowed
of
to
it.
fuel it.
Yeah, that's ahead of. But look behind.
Well,
Those
cooler,
temperatures dropping.
but the fact that it only cooled it to the 70s,
Yeah, and then
how
and-
much heat there was.
Yeah, the heat index is going to be a little more. Yeah, so look at the heat index still in Mount Clemens ahead of it. So the front
Absolutely
hasn't
wild.
gone through. And Lapeer. So you can see behind it where the effects of the rain are going through, and we're seeing the difference coming in. But still, yet the storm has to blow through, and then it's going to start cooling things down. But then tomorrow we're going to heat up again, but not as intense. It still will be there, but it won't be as intense.
It's going to feel rough with all the people without power too,
That
to go along
is
with
gonna
it.
be an issue.
Can you pop up the reports map one
Oh,
more
yeah.
time? Meteorologist Vita's right behind the camera for all of you that are joining us, by the way, on our live streams. The reports, if we take that broad view, what we did earlier, I'm kind of gonna walk on that plank here, but I think it easily fits that criteria because we have so many reports, so much damage from all the way in Illinois, all the way into Michigan. I think this fits the criteria from being right here, central Illinois, all the way through southeast Michigan, and now going into Canada and into Ohio. I really do think this meets the criteria to be called a derecho. I really do.
very possible.
And for those of you that aren't aware of what that is, a derecho is basically, it's a violent windstorm. It's a very long line of storms that are connected together, and it creates that very violent line of wind, usually stronger than just the baseline wind gusts. It's not just 60, it's stronger than that, and we have the wind reports to go along with it. And that is what we now have to look at. This is going to be something that gets confirmed a while from now, but the fact that there is that much damage, so many power outages, this may very well hit the criteria because it's been going for so many miles. It has to be about 200 to 300 miles at least.
Yeah.
I think is the criteria for it.
And
Yeah.
it cranks along pretty fast.
It does.
I've lived through that before.
Yeah,
Those storms. But
this
you
is
see
a
all the
nasty
warnings,
scenario.
though. You see some of the hail reports that have come in, and then also, and these are the ones that have been reported. A lot of flooding south of Benton Harbor over to South Bend, and also the winds towards Saugatuck, South Haven. Those folks at the beach, we had that beach video on Instagram
Yes.
that saw that dark cloud come in, that wind gust, and then, of course, coming through Lansing, we had all the heavy storm activity. Then there was that tornado warning in Livingston County. I don't know if there's been any confirmation of anything other than rotation, but we'll continue to keep an eye out for that. But nonetheless, we see the wind reports around the Lansing Metro, Ingham County, looking into Livingston County, as well as start making our way to our area where we've seen flooding reports in Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti, Dexter. Definitely the heavy rain that's come down, and even in Metro Detroit. So I'll go back to our Doppler radar, and we'll head back up to our actual warnings. And once again, St. Clair is really now
kinda
it
like
looks
the
like
last
Macomb
one.
has. Well, it still has that little bit left.
Little bit.
Yeah, just on the back edge of it, but still, I think that we'll be
It's
seeing that.
so close to the line to be able to get rid of that. Yeah, Macomb, St. Clair County there until 8 o'clock. Macomb County, what was that one? Was that 7:45?
Yeah.
Macomb County, I think it was. 7:40. Yep, there it is. 7:45 for Macomb County. That one's getting there. But yeah, St. Clair County, you're the next one. New Baltimore is kind of right in the middle of it right
Yeah,
now.
and this one should be canceling. So we still got that little cell east of Attica that's still firing. But
Lapeer to
7:45, they may
7:45
let that cancel in the next 15 minutes, though. But yeah, really under the gun will be St. Clair County. You're still seeing some pretty good wind gusts. And like you said, the power outages have been phenomenal with this storm. The way it blew through and the energy was in the atmosphere. You could feel it when you stepped outside, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about very hot, humid conditions. And what storms drive and really get gasoline from is all that moisture in the atmosphere, and then the latent heat that's in the heat really helps fire it up. Those two mechanisms and that sunshine blaring all day,
Constant.
just letting it
just-
fire
it
up. So that's
Did
gonna
not
create-
want to give it a break.
Yeah, you get a front coming in. Now, the interesting thing was we had a marginal risk yesterday, and nothing blew through. There were storms that were coming across the lake, and I watched them just dissipate because they're running into that heat dome. It was just blocking any type of forward motion of the storms. But today, it was interesting. We started out split, marginal risk to the north,
Yep.
slight risk to the south this morning. And then when I looked later and I was watching you,
Immediately
I was at
updated.
home watching you, and I said, oh, look at that. They took it to enhanced.
let me put on my my suit and come back in.
And
was
that's
like,
what we do here. That's what we do.
I'm coming back in to give some support to my brother.
There's no such. I
So,
appreciate that.
yeah,
there is no such thing as a set hours when
No.
it comes to the weather.
Only thing
It
I'm
doesn't wanna do it.
appreciating from severe weather tonight is not at 3 a.m. or 1 o'clock in the morning.
No, we've had to do that
We've
several
had
times
it
already.
several times this year
It's not the
already.
middle of the night. New wind gust report coming on in from Chesterfield, 63 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Macomb County getting hit with stronger than baseline winds.
Yeah, those winds that were very impressive coming through. So now we have behind this near Sterling Heights still some remaining showers. It looks like we'll see a little steady rain that's over and portions of looking over towards Genesee County coming down I-75. There's some steady rain through Waterford. If you're getting into Novi, West Bloomfield, Lyon, there's still going to be a decent rainfall. So you already had the heavy rain, and there's still a remaining following of some decent showers, so the ground will be kind of saturated and a little bit wet, so you can get some standing, ponding water. So just be careful on the roadways. Watch out for hydroplaning and slow your speeds down on the roadways, because you don't know if you hit a big puddle of water, you can hydroplane, lift your car up. And,
Very quickly.
something we got to watch. But once again, we're just tracking these storms here, making their way into St. Clair County. It should be ending up here shortly out of Macomb County and eastern Macomb County and in most eastern portions of Lapeer County. So we are seeing this kind of make its way through, and even down, like we said, we have that traffic issue downtown, but it looks like in Campus Martius, this is a big different look than what
So
we saw.
much better than what we saw earlier. The wind kicking up there was intense. Speaking of which, the wind that went through there, causing more outages, 250,000 from DTE right now, which
Wow.
is 11% of all of DTE's customer base.
Oh, that's
So
huge.
11%
Yeah.
Of all of
And it's because
southeast and
these-
eastern Michigan are currently without power.
Yeah, because of these right here.
It is a very large amount.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. And if I go back I'll roll it back about 5 hours to see if we can have a look at that, how that thing rolled. And you can see those storms down below, pretty impressive. So
If you travel into
pretty
Cleveland,
strong
it's gonna be a
line. So
rough
you
trek.
can see how these things made their way across the lake. I'll kind of zoom out here. You can see how they really pushed across the lake. And that activity just kind of fired up, made its way through. Now, Ohio has a pretty good squall line going right now. If you're driving south, maybe you want to give yourself a little extra couple of hours to let that kind of dissipate or move further east. But now we're just left with this remaining cluster of storms. Over in Chatham, they're starting to get it really now in the metro area of Chatham, Kent. Nice little city there. Just be careful. You're going to have to deal with a lot of lightning. That thing is still roaring over in that area.
It started all the way off to the west, and it just has not stopped. Clay Township, by the way, you're starting to get some really heavy rainfall, if you haven't already, with some of those stronger wind gusts. And then all the way up to the north along I-69, heading right for the Blue Water. And Vitas said earlier that with the traffic backups and everything, especially with travel going into the holiday weekend, I would hate to be stuck in traffic.
Or on that
trying to
bridge
cross
when
that bridge, yeah.
50, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts come through, especially a whole high-profile vehicle like a camper or something. We got a few more lightning strikes up around Richmond. You still see I-69, some decent rainfall. A lot of folks on the roadways traveling for the holiday. I-94 coming down into Wayne County, into Detroit. There is some decent rain you may run into. Also along the waterway, along the river there, and heading into St. Clair, Lake St. Clair, you may have some heavy downpours, but like we mentioned, the rain is really still much heavier once you cross into Lake St. Clair and is heading into Canada at this time. So our threat level is slowly diminishing, but it's still there for that county because of the wind and some of the rain coming in. So it's really the wind that's going to be the biggest threat with this as it pushes through. Now, the winds have they probably will lessen a bit, but it'll be blowing pretty good. You still get some power outages, some branches, tree limbs down, blow some things around in the yard, but you just want to make sure you're taking precaution ahead of this system as it puts through. It may not look as aggressive on radar right here, but as I go to the, let's go to velocity. Let's look at the winds
Oh,
real
yeah.
quick. We haven't
See how
peeked
much
at
more
those
we've got
real
the
quick.
straight lines. Lapeer warning was just canceled, so Lapeer is
Yeah,
in
there it is. So you can still see the wind. Yeah, Lapeer just hopped off. There we
Yep.
go. And it looks like soon eastern, let's see, Macomb.
Yep.
should do
Yeah,
that too.
Eastern Macomb right there.
So yeah, you still see that gust front still holding on right there. That is the
It
reason
is.
why this is thunderstorm warning, and they extended it because that wind right there is blowing. So it's going to be East China right there and Port Huron next in line. So this thing will be blowing into your area,
and that's what we'll watch. So we're remaining with a county and a half still in severe thunderstorm warning at this time for our metro area. Downtown Detroit, you're in the clear other than the heavy rain. And, you know, people, the sun is setting. As it starts getting darker, you have to be concerned also with debris in the road. You have to watch out for that, as well as branches, limbs, other debris that could have blown into the road. You're driving and you hit something. So just be a little bit cautious about that. And watch out for power lines that are down, because there is power outages and there could be active power lines that are down that are live. You don't want anybody to touch anything or
Whether they're
anything up.
sparking or not.
Yeah.
Whether they're sparking or not, you just don't know.
Yeah.
So stay away from them. Don't try and drive through. And better safe than sorry in every way, shape, and form tonight.
What's our power outage looking like right now?
Last
What's the
check was 250, so still staying there at 250. We'll probably get another update here in about 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
250,000 people
From DTE alone.
out of power, and that could be a little greater with customers who don't have DTE. But nonetheless, we're looking at still heavy rainfall. A lot of folks got to see the wind. There was also wind damage that we've had reports of from multiple trees down, power outages, and things that have been strewn about in people's yards.
State of Michigan as a whole is 422,000.
Oh wow, 500,000.
250 from DTE alone, 422,000 for the entire state of Michigan.
That's a lot of people. That's stretching all the way across from West Michigan to east to our area.
All the way through.
Really, that I-94, I-96 corridor was really the actual spots that had most of it. It's really in that core of the marginal, the enhanced, that is, that enhanced risk that they put on us. So they upped it from this morning. This morning we were slight risk, bordering marginal. We talked about the time, and the timeline came through pretty
It did.
close.
The timeline was right on the money.
Yeah.
I think the extra energy during the day, we got right into that heat index of 105.
100%,
It
yeah.
absolutely went into that extreme heat warning category
Yeah.
again. And I think the hope was that it would stay more toward 100 and not make it all the way up. But that extra bit,
Oh yeah.
just gas in the tank.
It is, and that's what that tells you how strong our atmosphere can be. So when we talk about the potential for severe storms, you always want to be alert. It's better that we don't get them. I prefer us not to have damage or anybody to get hurt or harmed from these storms, but really always stay alert when these things come through. We worry about there is reports of maybe a tree on a home, big limbs down in yards, and then these are the things we are concerned with. So with it being a holiday weekend, of course, a lot of people are traveling. A lot of people are outside. Outdoor activities, like we heard, the festival, the Taco Fest was canceled. It's canceled other events that have been around town.
A new one to add to that just a moment ago, Plymouth, downtown Plymouth. We already talked about how much damage they have. You just said all these other events. Plymouth, unfortunately, canceling their concert for tonight. They cannot make the stage safe after the severe weather rolled through.
How about that?
That means that adds even more to the amount that unfortunately is
Yeah,
around the
because
area.
you're saying to make the stage safe, that you worry about that. It takes me back to Indiana when that stage at the State Fair
yeah.
collapsed with the strong storm that pushed through. And you got to think about people's safety. That's very important. So once again, let's go back up here and talk about the warning. This warning should expire for eastern portions of Macomb County. I'm at that one storm, as you can see behind you.
Rolling right through.
I'll draw a little
There it is.
line here as far as a track, and then it's going to be continuing to go up towards Port Huron. So these areas.
Port Huron by 8:10, so not much longer, probably about half an hour at most, and then we're in the clear. Yeah, half hour at most, but those strong wind gusts again. Marysville 7:59, Port Huron 8:10. Should be over in Sarnia by 8:13, clearing on out. Lexington clearing by 8:29, but that's at the absolute latest. I think you're going to be okay there. We just kind of have you there as a bit of a safety mark.
Okay.
So the larger area of wind kind of moving its way on through the strongest part of the line.
We got a little update, Cassandra.
The Inkster Police Department is reporting that they're experiencing a power outage and it is affecting some of their systems, including weather alert notifications. So they are working with the fire department right now to try to address that.
Right from the city of Inkster. All right, there you go.
Thank you.
I mean, if you live in the city of Inkster,
that?
already more than just people that live in their homes that are affected by the outages, the actual city and emergency services now directly affected because of how much damage there is.
Yeah.
That's how serious the situation is.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on in many of the counties and many of the metropolitan areas around in our region because of these storms. So once they blow through, we're looking at a lot of energy and activity. So it's not just one area. So once again, we're going to continue to track this severe thunderstorm warning for St. Clair County.
until 8 p.m. That's
should be-
another 20 minutes. That
It
should
might be
falling
able to
off.
even clear before then. With the rate that it's
Hopefully.
going, it's
moving.
going quickly.
Yeah, these things have been moving.
And you said right, there's still that leading edge of that wind, those little lines
Yeah.
right here. You kind of have to play connect the dots.
Yeah,
you see
right
this
in
little
here.
ripple right through here. That's that second gust of wind right
right.
in there. That little ripple of air right through there with some stronger gusts still moving on through Clay Township as well.
Yeah.
I mean that's that secondary line of wind. So you get that first gust line, they get that second, and that one cell is just heading right down I-69, heading right for the Blue Water Bridge, right for Port Huron.
There's still some nice little lightning strikes in there.
There are.
There's
There
still
are.
some lightning strikes, and
It's not the barrage that we had from earlier, but it is more than enough still.
right. Yeah, we can see.
I'm glad that it's
Two.
switching more negative rather than positive.
Yeah, that does help.
Yeah,
That
so
does make a
it's not as
difference.
much the electrical targeting strikes as what we had before. We look for those kind of things, the negative and positive strikes. Negative strikes are about, we'll say, probably 70 to 80% of the time
Right.
within a storm. Those are the vast majority. But you've got the positive charges. Those happen much less often, but they pack a wallop
Oh, yeah,
when those
100%.
happen. Those are the ones that drop power. Those are the ones that hit transformers and those blow up. Those are the ones that can cause fires. Positive charge strikes are a very big indicator on the strength of a severe storm that's moving through. And a
So-
lot of the ones earlier were very high on the positive strike.
So once again, a little reminder of some of the intensity. You can highlight that video again. It's an impressive local
Yeah,
video.
there it is. I'm gonna stand over here
And there'll
so you
be
can see it.
more of these popping up on Instagram, but
The wind hits, and then watch the patio furniture. There it goes, all the way off. So very easy. You get that first gust of wind right here. Then you get the severe gust of wind a few moments later, and there's your main hit.
yeah.
So you get that little warning breath.
Yeah,
first.
exactly. And then you hear things cracking like branches and tree limbs, and that's what you have to watch. So this was an impressive line that put you in. We want to thank Julie Thompson for that video as far as sending that in. And if you've seen anything, you're in a safe place, make sure you send that to us as well. You can always get that to us.
I'm checking in with a few of our weather watchers right now. If you'd like, by the way, to sign up as a weather watcher, you can do that, cbsdetroit.com/WWN. We'd love for you to sign up to be one of our weather watchers. We get a lot of reports from you guys, so thank you for all of you that have signed up. Let's see.
Yeah. So once again, tracking this severe thunderstorm warning for St. Clair County. This is because of the winds and some heavy downpours, rain, a little bit of lightning. The lightning is it's starting to lessen a little bit of the intensity, but the good news is that we are seeing this storm through. Many of the counties back to the west are just seeing the rain, steady rain, but yet there's a lot of people out of power at this time. Over 250,000 down around the area, southeast Michigan, and
It just jumped again.
Really? What is it?
265.
Oh, well, you got me correct.
Just, I mean, it was
265,000.
as you were saying it.
Yeah.
As
wow.
you were saying it.
Yeah.
DTE said,
265.
well, Vitas.
Yeah, because, and it may add up more because there's still, even though the main brunt of the storms have gone through, it's still adding up because
Oh, yeah.
there could be, it's a tier effect, something that's knocked out or a transformer or a tree's leaning on a power line, it can knock out power for another 10, 30, 100 people, and that keeps adding to the total. So we're looking at lots of folks without a power, and it's still humid, even though the temperatures have gone down a bit, it's still humid, and you'll feel that in your home, so you may not have air conditioning in. So just be patient with it as the crews get out. They're going to be working 24/7 to get the power back up, and they're really good at moving on that. But nonetheless, these storms blew through it with great velocity across southeast Michigan.
Very, very quickly. We've actually got a couple of reports from some of our weather watchers. Let's see, this is David Howe in Milan, extremely strong winds, power outages, Sherman Road, a lot of power out along with that pounding rain. You had another one that came in from Redford Township. Let me double check the report again. This is from one of our weather watchers there in Redford Township from the extremely strong winds that came on in there. Let's see what their last report was. Power lines taken down at Beach Daly and Grand River and 7 Mile in Redford. Lots of power lines and trees down within that area. That's from another one of our weather watchers in Redford Township. A lot of different reports that are coming on. And thank you again to all of our weather watchers for those reports that
The
have been
wind
moving
damage
through.
reports are starting to pop in
Yep.
more, as you can see on the map behind you.
Another one from Sarah, one of our weather watchers in Ann Arbor. The very strong storm that was rolling on through there, sending us some reports. So those have been fantastic to be able to get. Seriously, thank you to all of them. But you can see the different damage reports from around the area. really showing each one of the blue pins severe wind gusts. Each one of these pins significant severe weather damage. We're getting more that are coming in after the storm clears. You can see a few more actually, the more wind gusts right there from out near New Baltimore. Some of those
and that
ones.
cell earlier that we had the first really warnings that started to pop in. Over here, you can see the wind
Yep.
damage. It's kind of in that line right along I-94.
That's that main cell.
Yeah,
Absolutely that main
cell that kind of came into the city. And that's something that was really strong as far as watching that push in. And we'll continue to see that push through. So it looks like
We're almost there.
we're out of Monroe, no,
Macomb County, there it is.
Macomb,
Yep.
I'm sorry. Macomb County is canceled now. That's good news. So we're finally left with one county. You folks up there in St. Clair County still have this severe thunderstorm warning until 8 p.m. for another 15 minutes as that storm, the heaviest little storm actually has been picking up a little energy here. I'm going to zoom in here. You see over towards Kimball, looking at some heavy downpours of rain just west of the bridge. Blue Water Bridge, you can probably see the dark clouds and already getting the wind.
And actually, if I can have the control room, if they can bring the radar just full real quick, I need to step out and talk with our assignment desk and our digital desk real quick about a specific report that came in. We can't mention it on air just yet, but let's bring it full, and I'll hand things over to you, Vitas,
Okay.
real quick.
Okay. All right.
So you can work the radar from there. But our
Okay.
control room, let's bring this full. Let's bring this full real quick, and I'm going to step
All right,
my way
so
on out and get this.
once again
report.
we are tracking a severe thunderstorm warning, the final remaining severe thunderstorm warning for St. Clair County until 8 p.m. We have a cell that still has some gusty winds that are going to continue to push with maybe 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, 3/4-inch hail making its way up towards the Blue Water Bridge. Now this line has done a lot of damage, bringing down limbs and trees. We have over 265,000 people out of power across the southeast Detroit metro area. We're also seeing over into Canada, we have severe thunderstorm warning for folks out there towards Chatham. And it looks like we're going to continue to see that push through Chatham-Kent area. But we definitely saw some heavy rain that's still coming down in Warren, up around Macomb, and over towards Waterford and Pontiac. Still some decent showers following behind this, but a lot of folks without power. And we've been tracking severe thunderstorms. We had a heightened risk for thunderstorms today. There was a slight risk earlier this morning for the southern portion of our viewing area, and then marginal risk, that's a level 1, and then level 2. We talked about in the morning show this morning, but then it was enhanced. It was taken up a notch to enhanced risk as we saw actually strong storms moving through Lansing. There was a tornado warning back there towards Ingham County, but now we're seeing just a remaining line of storms pushing through, and the main threat are the winds. And the winds have been gusting pretty good. They've caused some damage out there. In fact, we had this video sent in by a person that saw the winds pushing. Take a look at that umbrella just get lifted up, that yard umbrella, and just taken away. And that wind gust is strong. Julie Thompson, thank you so much for this over in Eaton Rapids as the storm was pushing through and just creating a lot of havoc over parts of the area. And we also had that flooding downtown in parts of the city. But looking downtown in Campus Martius, looks like things are better across the area. In fact, taking a look right now, it looked scary downtown. There were people walking around, and I was thinking, let's hopefully they get safe harbor, move inside as it's really start coming down. The wind was blowing. We could see the winds gusting, but now people have umbrellas. They're kind of making their way around. A lot of activities. A lot of folks are out and about because of the concerts and events around town. Several things have been canceled because of the weather. The Taco Fest was canceled. We also had what was going on down in Greenfield Village. That's been canceled for until tomorrow. There's been a lot of power lines down, like we said, power outages of 265,000, and it's going to continue to go up most likely as I speak.
Absolutely.
Because we have had a lot of transformers, a lot of lightning with this storm, and we saw a lot of positive charge bolts that are cloud the ground, and those are striking things. But then also things that can knock down through power lines. And if you see any live wires, please stay away from them. Don't want to go out in that. We also had flooding on Southfield Freeway. That was shut down because of flooding. Cars stalled or stopped in that water. We are tracking that as well. So when you have a major metropolitan area, it's a holiday. More than half of the people are home trying to do things throughout the day, moving around town, trying to get out and enjoy this hot day. But definitely it's one of those things that you have to deal with the storms in the evening. We expected to see these this evening, But these will continue to move on off to the east and start to clear the area, and we'll start to see more calmer things. We have this warning in effect for another 10 minutes. Then things are going to calm down a little bit, just some showers. And we could get a few more dicey storms tomorrow, may pop up scattered in the afternoon. But we'll continue to track that, and Stacy will be in for that.
Yeah, and that's going to be, I mean, you now add into the fact it's that holiday weekend with so many people without power, and it's still hot.
It is still hot.
Still.
Our temperature is going to be about 80, upper 80s, low 90s
Yep.
tomorrow. But it is going to be as bad heat index. It's going to be hot, but we're starting to get a break in the heat, and that's what this atmosphere is doing. It's breaking the heat. We'll get temperatures back into the 80s as we get into Sunday, but Monday, Tuesday, better temperatures. Normal high this time of year is right around 83 degrees. We're going to see those temperatures in the mid-upper 80s going through the next day here. So taking a look at that radar, you can see
That one cell, that's the only one that's
it's
left.
holding on. I'll zoom in on it. And folks who are driving on I-69 there, that split of I-94 there,
Right toward Port Huron.
it's going over the blue water. It wants to go to Canada. And it's going to come down pretty good. And so, like I said, once this clears the area, this warning, this is timed pretty good. That should kind of make its way out over to Lake Huron. And we'll start to see just the showers that are remaining across the area. So we'll continue to track that. But nonetheless, it was quite an interesting day. There will be a lot of posts on our page. You can follow us on CBS.com, CBSDetroit.com, and you can see what was happening. And also on Instagram. Make sure you follow our social media to get all the latest. And you guys can, send pictures to us and also be weather watchers. We welcome you to be a part of the family. Because what you can do is you send us pictures and give us updates in your neighborhood, and we like to see that because we like to know what's happening on your front doorstep.
Absolutely. CBSDetroit.com/WWN. Send the reports right on there. That's absolutely where we'd love to be able to get that.
Still some heavier downpours as you get down towards St. Clair itself, and it looks like it's coming down pretty good. And definitely these two cells here are the heaviest. Just south of Clyde, a little bit of activity as well, but no rotation. That's the good news. I don't see any rotation at this time happening.
No.
It's just really the winds that are going to continue to push as we look at the velocity. That little line of wind that's crossing the bridge literally right now. Looks like Blue Water is getting that little push out of that thunderstorm. So you have an inflow in these thunderstorms. What we say is an inflow. That's the air blowing in and going up, lifting the atmosphere, pushing the air up violently to the upper atmosphere, and then it goes up only so far, and then it has to come down. So what goes up must come down, and when it comes down, it's a gust front, and you feel the cooler temperatures from aloft or above starting to push out ahead of the storm, and that's when you get those strong winds or that squall line. You start seeing those winds, that outflow, that dark cloud, and the winds pick up, then the rain follows, and that's what we saw with these thunderstorms. So it looks like, once again, tracking these thunderstorms, last final warning, going to continue to make its way in through parts of St. Clair County, and the warning will expire shortly. How's that power outages looking? Any more update?
Let's see the
It was
latest ones.
265, I think, 265,000.
We're just looking at a large, lot of rain, large tree limb down from Matthew O over in St. Clair Shores, one of our weather watchers. Thanks, Matthew, for that one. We're now at 277,000
it's
from
gone
DTE
up more.
without
See,
power.
another 12,000 people.
Yep,
So it
completely.
keeps adding on, and that's something we'll see. It'll keep adding on as we continue to go through the evening. So this may hit about 300,000 here on Southeast Michigan, and the statewide, we may get over a 500,000 people. So we're looking at a lot of people without power because of these storms blowing through the area, and it's been hot. Now, this thing still is kind of, look at this little cell here, man.
It still just wants to roll. It does
is.
not want to
Look-
stop.
Look at that thing. It's
You
still-
were saying we're at 451,000 for the state so far. We are well on our way. We're
Yeah.
going to get real close to that.
I think so, yeah. So once again, tracking that cell, making its way into Port Huron. Blue Water Bridge, sometimes if there's really a dangerous situation, they'll stop traffic from crossing over, or high-profile vehicles from crossing an open bridge right there. So we'll continue to track that and see as this line of storms push through, because it could get hard to even see visibly, and your visibility reduces with these storms as they push through with heavy rainfall, that rain shaft pushing through. But right now, once again, we're looking at this severe thunderstorm warning for St. Clair County. Radar indicated hail in this storm could be up to 0.75, which is 3/4 of an inch, about a quarter size.
but then you can also see wind speeds up to about 60-mile-an-hour gusts with this. So the winds have been really doozy with this as it's been making its way through, and we're going to continue to see that make its way on out into Lake Huron. Hopefully folks who are out in the lake see that dark cloud and are making their way to Safe Harbor to just kind of get out of that gust front, because you don't want to be caught in that. Boats can be overturned.
Very, very quickly, yeah. Boats are unfortunately in that spot. We've seen that already with how many unfortunately had overturned out near Belle Isle about a week or so ago. Some very intense stuff that unfortunately ripped on through there, but you can see that lightning, you see the very intense rainfall, very strong winds rolling into Port Huron right now, eventually going to cross into Sarnia, Point Edward, continue to roll its way on into Canada there, so that you can see Sarnia just right off to the right-hand side. This is the last cell.
Yeah.
This is the only one. We're on our live stream. We can take things, a little easier going, and that's what we're doing. There's the next scan, moving it right into Port Huron right now. This is the main one. So Port Huron to Fort Gratiot. That is this cell right along I-69. If you're planning to cross the blue water, hold off for a second. If you're in Port Huron,
trying to
and
get
you're
to the
watching,
casinos, wait.
Yeah, just wait inside. Wait to cross for the moment.
Of course.
You can wait to lose the money. Just
Yeah,
hold on
wait for that. Exactly.
Give
Keep
yourself
it
a
in your
couple more
pocket.
minutes. But yeah, plenty of heavy rain, so many power outages, an intense amount of downed tree limbs that we've been tracking for tonight. This is a pretty significant night of severe weather, fueled by that intense heat and that intense humidity.
Yeah, the good news is that we'll get a little bit of break from the heat and from we may get a few little storms tomorrow, but we've been talking about the 4th of July fireworks and what's happening. It looks like we could get some storms maybe in the morning that could kind of morning, afternoon, scattered, but it could get out of here before actual fireworks, we're hoping. So depending on the timing of those storms, we'll watch them closely, track them for you, but hopefully, make sure you tune in tonight at 11. Ahmed will have the latest for you on the timing of what it will look like with the latest model runs for tomorrow. And it'll probably be pretty close right on as far as when the timing is, when those things will push through for tomorrow and Sunday. But for the fireworks. And a lot of activity. Like I said, a lot of activities outside. Folks are outside. It's going to be hot. Not as hot as what it was today, but it's still hot. And you still can get some thunderstorms popping off tomorrow. And we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something that we have to keep a close eye on going into that weekend. But yeah, with tonight, with so many events that have been canceled, Salute to America. You had Taco Fest currently suspended.
Not Taco Fest.
I know.
Man, my heart is broken.
They already had to slide a day because of the heat. They already had to slide a day because of the heat, and now you have this. They had insult to injury. You have Plymouth, the concert canceled there. You had Pine Knob, where they were telling people, nope, do not come in, wait in your cars. Just a lot of issues tonight because of that one line of storms that just did not want to stop. And this is something we said as early as the beginning of this week, that Friday night was going to be the severe weather risk, and that was going to give it all.
Real quick for tomorrow.
That thunderstorm risk is there, but it's just enough lightning, regular thunderstorm risk, but the severe risk just to our south.
Yeah, so, it's not far off. Most of the energy goes to the east, but nonetheless, it has general. When you see that, it means it's just like maybe a chance for general showers and thunderstorms across the area, but just something to kind of check there, and just wanted to look at that. So that's kind of tomorrow. And that could change a little bit by tomorrow's update. Could that little green line kind of pop over and give us a marginal risk, but we'll wait to see if that happens. But once again, we're tracking that severe thunderstorm. We got just a couple more minutes, folks. We're going to get through this thunderstorm warning, moving into Port Huron. It's going to make its way across, and the next scan is going to be taking it over the bridge and heading into Canada. But we appreciate you guys watching us this evening, just to kind of keep you safe. We'll always track the storms for you, but nonetheless, we do have a lot of those down power lines and also people out of power. Almost 300,000 people in Southeast Michigan because of the winds, the power lines down, trees, branches down. We have some minor damage in different communities across the area. But I say minor, but it could be major for you if you have power out. A good sign, I'm looking at Campus Marshes, and I see the beer carts going again. Not that I'm a drinker. I don't drink alcohol.
They're getting ready to party again.
But the party carts are moving again, and I think they don't care if it's raining or not. But people are moving around, and the rain is light, and it's going to continue. You need an umbrella out and around if you're going. But
I think we're done with the severe aspect of it for most of the area, but it's just this last minute here, and it should allow for this to expire, and this cell will kind of make its way out. The winds are still gusting there, but into Canada.
Yeah, I mean, the intensity is just wild to be able to see how long this thing has been wanting to roll. And with the fact that, we've been getting a lot of comments from people like, hey, was that a tornado? What was it? And the intensity of the straight line winds picking up the dust. We saw the dust being picked up there from the Campus Martius cam. You could see all of that rolling its way on through. Now with this line finally exiting there, it looks like that cell is just now starting to exit Port Huron. There it is. Warning now canceled. Now done.
But it's interesting. We're going to probably wrap up here.
Yep.
But over in Canada, in that cell,
Give it one more look.
They have a tornado warning. So
Off of Chatham, all the way over to the east side there.
east of Chatham. So that's just something for folks to, if you're hearing us or watching us on the stream, that's that same cell that had all that lightning. It still had more for Chatham, Kent, and Rondeau Park, looking at a tornado warning in effect. So
Just an insane amount from one
But that's-
specific cell.
That's the same cell.
Same one, and it just does, and it still doesn't want to stop. But thank you for everybody that's been staying with us here on our live stream tonight. We were here from the start of it all the way through. I will have updates coming up at 11 o'clock tonight, and Vitas is going to get some sleep.
Yes, indeed.
And we're going to keep an eye going on into storm risk for this weekend. So thanks for joining us, and I will see you coming up tonight on CBS News Detroit at 11.